Hey everybody, welcome back to the Six Hole Studio where we do the Hook podcast. I'm your host Keith Butler and my co-host
Jeff Lowe. What's up?
That guy.
Oh yeah, we got it now. Yeah.
Yes,
all right, we're
all
back
right.
here. We got we got a very special guest. They just came in from Atlanta, Georgia. They had to drive in. She's a native Detroiter. We're going to give a quick toast right quick.
Cheers.
And my nephew came in with her. I got my lovely daughter here. And we have somebody here by the name of Jasmine Sadler. She is a Michigander. She is now living in San Diego. She is for you who really care, you sorors out there, she's an AKA.
Ski.
Oh, you can say it louder than that. Ski. Say it like you mean it, girl.
Ski.
Okay. She's a grad at University of Michigan. She's an aerospace engineer.
Go Blue.
Doctor in education, as she says, she'll be a doctor longer than she's not a doctor. A dancing rocket scientist, a CEO and a visionary, and STEM collaborative.
Dancing rocket scientist.
So we're going to talk to him a little bit.
Right.
She is and I'm proud to say my nephew's lovely young lady. Come on, you want to say something right quick here?
I'm just his plus one.
You just going to sit out here and be quiet here? Okay, so he's a duck. I don't know what the heck. Okay.
A duck.
Yeah, a duck. I thought you was like Omega Psi Phi.
Oh,
So I was going to get a
yeah.
bark. You can go ahead, man. Get a bark, man. Come on. No, he's going to
Yeah,
be
put
bashful.
George
Right?
Clinton on, man. You know that.
No, we're not gonna bring the dogs out. But anyway, we've got Miss Sadler here, and we're gonna talk to her about some of the stuff that she's involved in. She's a very accomplished young lady, as you can see, as you heard. I just mentioned her accolades here.
Yes.
So, Jazz,
Yes.
talk to me. Tell me about it. First of all, let's talk about the trip. Coming in from Atlanta. We heard you guys ran into a little bit of trouble.
Oh, yes. It's Memorial Day weekend. We came to Atlanta to celebrate a wedding. And
Now, you flew into Atlanta.
we flew into Atlanta from San Diego. And then the plan was to fly from Atlanta to Detroit and hang out with our family for Memorial Day weekend. And we missed our flight.
What happened?
Uh-oh.
How'd you miss the flight?
See, we were just chilling.
See, that's what it was.
It was just a bunch of hard chilling.
You haven't missed it. You know why? This guy makes some of the best barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff is drunk, y'all. Jeff is
Toast to that.
Oh.
All right, forget it.
Jeff buzzed. But anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
We were just chilling real hard. His friend came in town into Atlanta from Mobile, Alabama. Mike, shout out to Mike. And he came to meet me because, as I joined the family, I have to join the extended family.
Okay. All right.
And we were just chilling extra hard, a couple rounds of drinks, a couple rounds of food, appetizer, 3-course meal that we had at the restaurant. So by the time we got to the airport, the flight decided to leave.
Oh, it decided to leave.
It decided to leave before we arrived.
Okay.
I guess they didn't know that
you were coming.
I mean,
if they'd have known, they'd have waited.
if they'd have known, because I actually, as an aerospace engineer, design aircraft engines.
Okay.
Which are like the round things on the side of an airplane.
Shut up now.
And so,
Stop it.
how that energy and the air routes through the airplane is how the electricity happens in an airplane. So when you talk about the wings and how they, the lift and how they change and how the air above your head, the air conditioning, all of that comes from the aircraft engines. And so that's what I helped design.
Okay.
But so, yeah.
Yeah, they
Had-
should have
had they
waited
known.
on you.
So that's
man.
why-
Had they know. But they didn't know. They
Is
didn't
that
know.
why it's so cold in airplanes all the time?
Well, got to pressurize the cabin because, as you change elevation or attitude or altitude, then you have to pressurize the cabin to make sure that people don't get compressed as you change elevation. And so then that's kind of why it's cold. It's like they put in different types of air, do different things to make sure that the cabin's pressurized so everybody's safe.
Now, Jazz, how old are you right now? If I'm not getting personal.
I'm a fine 35.
35 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and you heard her accolades.
Wait a minute. You heard what she said, right?
A fine 35. And she's fine. I give my cousin,
Okay.
my nephew did well.
Okay.
I give my nephew props. He did well on this one, okay?
Well, actually, I did well.
Oh, you did well?
Yeah.
Oh.
I spotted him.
Oh, wow.
That's an AKA for you.
And I had to.
She giving a big up to my nephew.
I mean, that's what I like.
All right. Okay. All right.
Toast.
That's what I like.
Hey. Toast.
Okay, toast. All right, we're gonna toast it up. Hey,
Cheers to the nest.
going around, cheers. To
There you go. All
but,
right.
You know, I guess quality recognizes quality. So I would say that you are a quality young lady, and I appreciate the compliment to my nephew there. And he's my guy. You know, he's all right with me, even though he plays the wrong way. He plays the wrong way, but you know you do what you got to do. But anyway, Jeff, tell us about the
Take the
STEM.
mic, man. Go ahead. Take
Tell us
the
about
mic.
STEM. Uh-oh, here he comes.
At least I went to Tuskegee.
Say what?
At least I went to Tuskegee.
Yeah, you did
That-
go to HBCU, and
There
we're
you
both graduates from the same school, but he went university, I was institute. I was the last class of institute. But we like to say that. We like to say that.
Wiley.
Nobody cares about Wiley College.
Wiley College.
Nobody cares.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Another good HBCU. But I want to talk to Jazz. Jazz,
Yeah, I'm just here.
just tell me about, you're in the STEM. What is STEM and what's it about and
Yes.
how do you get into it? And,
So I went to University of Michigan, Go Blue.
Go blue.
okay, that's all right.
So I
We'll
gotta
forgive
shout
you for
that out.
that. We'll forgive you for that.
I mean, please forgive me.
We'll forgive you.
You know, it was an interesting time, but went to University of Michigan, studied aerospace engineering, and so while I was there, I was in a hip hop dance crew. Then I studied abroad in Hong Kong. I was there for 5 months, and then started a dance group over there while I was taking some math classes in Hong Kong. Traveled all around Southeast Asia. Came back, and so my passion for STEM is getting other little black girls to realize that they can do it too. And that took a while for me to realize that that's why I studied aerospace engineering, not so I can be an aerospace engineer, but so that I can convince other little black girls that they can be one too.
Okay, so what
Outstanding.
got you? What made you
Love
decide
it.
you wanted
Love
to
it.
go into STEM in aeronautics?
Yeah, both of my parents are computer specialists. They worked for the government and retired. And my brother studied computer engineering 4 years before me.
Oh, so you just pretty much had to.
I mean, not necessarily. My parents never really brought it home with them. And so, Kamal's met my parents, and they're just chill, everyday people, And so they're not really talking about STEM. They're not talking about math. They're just kind of letting you show your creativity. And that's what my parents did well, I would definitely say. They let me be who I wanted to be. And so that encouraged me to explore different things. And so from that, they had me in Saturday programs, summer school programs, things like that, where I could learn more about engineering. And instead of being a computer engineer or something with computers like them, there's a space shuttle disaster that happened when I was in high school. And I had to decide what I wanted to do, if I wanted to major in dance or engineering. And so I majored in aerospace engineering because there was a space shuttle disaster. I just wanted to help people, and that's why a lot of girls kind of get into the space.
So that
Love it.
the shuttle
Love
disaster,
it. Love
The
it.
shuttle disaster really influenced you, huh? And it just,
Absolutely. I mean, I think at the time it was the biggest thing on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before that was 9/11. Honestly, while I was still in high school, and so all of this is kind of like airplanes, space shuttles. Like, how can we make sure that those pilots who work so hard, those astronauts who work so hard for everything they have, that they're safe in that space? And so that's why I decided to do aerospace. And so, ultimately, come to find out, we do aircraft, spacecraft, but then what I specialized in was more turning air into energy. So aircraft engines, wind turbines, oil and gas turbines, things like that.
So how the heck do you turn air into energy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of cool STEM and technology. And so that's what I didn't know at the time. My first internship was with General Electric Aviation in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that's where I learned what my class was teaching me in propulsion, which was like, if you put air in something, which is an engine. It comes in through the inlet, and then you have a compressor. So it compresses it, gets it really tight, increases the pressure, and then you light it on fire in the combustor. And so that increases the temperature. So when you have something that's high pressure, high temperature, and then you can convert that with the turbine section into energy.
Wow.
Okay, it's quiet in the studio right now. Jeff is stunned.
No, I'm not.
I'm stunned.
I'm not stunned. I'm impressed.
Yeah, impressed.
Thank you.
Impressed. That's stunned.
Yeah, I just stroll in, stroll out. That's what I do. But yeah,
I love it
yeah.
because future students or students who might listen to this and hear you know that there's an opportunity.
It's a possibility
that exists in that field, and not. I mean, you're like I love what you said. I am not a future doctor. I'll be a doctor more than I'll be a future doctor.
That's right.
That's confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's confidence.
I mean, and that's how it's always been. I mean, when I decided to pursue aerospace engineering, usually in school you have the first 2 years where you have to declare a major. But I already knew I was going to do aerospace, not because I loved aircraft or spacecraft, but because I knew I wanted to help those people doing such a cool selective job to arrive safely back on the earth. And so, I knew from high school that I was going to be an aerospace engineer. And so, even freshman year when they're like, look to your right, look to your left, only one of the three of you is actually going to graduate in engineering. For me, I'm like, no, it's more of a 50-50 chance. Either I'm going to or I'm not going to.
Right. Southfield Lathrop, right?
Okay. Yes.
Southfield Lathrop.
Listen. You knew when you first walked through your the door. I got to Tuskegee. I didn't know until my junior year what what exactly I was going to do.
Yeah.
And that's just that's something else. Not only that, you wrote a book.
I did write a book.
Tell us about that.
The book is called Balancing Your Own Center of Gravity, a manual for hyperproductive STEM professionals. And that's me. I was hyperproductive all the time, doing the most,
obviously,
as some might say, but always busy. And so everything that kind of pops in my mind that seems like a good idea, I do it. And I know I'm going to do it. And so it may not look exactly like the version that I initially thought, but it usually looks pretty similar to exactly what popped in my head. And that's why I consider myself a visionary. And so God gives me a vision, and I do my best to execute it. And so ultimately my goal is to own and run a STEAM university. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and math university. And so just as matter of fact as I can say that I'll be an aerospace engineer when I'm 16 years old, I will own and run a STEAM university. So
okay, you're 35 years old. How can you even think of something like that?
Yeah, actually, that came to me probably about 2015, 2016. So that was about 6 years. So I was still in my 20s when God gave me this vision that's what I would do. That's the way that I could really change the course of education. And so instead of doing these after school programs with maybe 20, 30 students, a summer program with another 20, 30 students, it was, I need to work with the leaders. I need to work with the adults in this space. And if I can get them on the right track and educate them on like real world engineering, then they can teach that to the kids. And then instead of me working with 20 or 30 students, now I can work with 20 or 30 adults who have 20 or 30 students. So instead of me impacting 30 children, now I'm impacting 30 times 30, 900. Right. So, the mission of my company is to exponentially increase equity in education.
Now, is there any other STEM universities that exist today?
Yes, there are. So there are some, and then some doing things kind of non-traditionally. And so, 4-year universities, and especially now post-pandemic.
Well, I'm talking about ones that actually specifically concentrate. That's their educational point. STEM.
Yes, and so actually, when we talked about me being a future doctor or a current doctor, that that's what my dissertation will be on, is researching different innovative STEM universities and how they got started.
Okay.
So that when I start mine, so even looking at HBCUs, especially Bethune-Cookman College, and then Bethune-Cookman University, and you know how that evolution happened with Mary McLeod Bethune. You know that was an innovative university, an innovative school that she started that merged with the college that, you know, became a university. And so how all of that happened. But there's a lot of really good ones in India, in other countries. And since I went to school in Hong Kong, you know, I have this international education experience as well. So bringing all of that into what I researched for my doctorate in education.
How was that international education?
Oh, I mean, it's very different. And so one thing in particular is that our math class was our grade for our math class was based on the final exam only. So, you know, in America, we have homework assignments, we have, you know, maybe discussion posts.
So you only had one exam for the whole?
We have the final exam, and that's your grade.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
And I'm not saying
that's fair.
I'm not saying that's the case in every class at every university abroad, but that was the case in one of my math classes. And so fair is debatable, you know, especially coming from a country like America. What's fair?
And I guess they're used to it over there.
What's fair is not always equitable. What's fair is not always inclusive. And so, you know, it's really just based on, did you learn enough in this class outside of your teacher, potentially, outside of your professor? Did you learn as a student enough to understand these concepts?
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys who are listening, is it deep enough for you yet? Is it deep enough for you yet? Jeff, is it deep enough for you here in the studio?
It's beyond deep. I'm digging a hole and I'm in it.
You're not getting out of this one, baby.
I'm in the hole, baby.
Yeah.
All I got is a bachelor's. I don't have a doctor's degree yet.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you know, America teaches us sometimes. Is like, your degree is who you are and what you are qualified to do. But what I'm trying to propose with my university is that what you learn and how you learn is the way that we should be learning and the way that we should be teaching each other. And so how I learned math at an early age, like grade school, 8th grade, I'm tutoring my classmates in algebra in the middle of class in 8th grade because I'm learning this differently than my teacher's teaching. So I start turning around and talking to my classmates like, okay, well, this is how I learned it. I'm getting the same answer she is.
And so how many times did you get kicked out of class?
Oh, yeah. So teachers don't like that.
Right.
And especially, you know, but yeah, it was very early on. I mean, I was definitely in class detention. I definitely had to go to the principal's office during class because I'm just like, this isn't the way we should be learning this. You know, like, if we're not learning, then it's not effective.
Have you gone back to the schools and said, look at me now?
So that's the plan when going back now. Not necessarily look at me now. They knew I was different and they knew that I was really on the right track ultimately.
But you were just going against the
and
grade.
I was 12.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
12.
You know, talking to a grown up about like how they're teaching, you know, is
do as I say, not as you know.
Yeah, and so when you're 12, you're just supposed to sit there and you know, listen. And I'm just like, but we're not learning. And so, you know, ultimately, cheers.
Well,
cheers.
It's 12.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
But yeah, so that was also, that was a big part of it. And then my AP calculus teacher in 12th grade really encouraged me in a different way because, you know, she's teaching calculus on the board, and some of I'm understanding everything she's doing because I'm understanding it differently, but all my classmates are just lost. So, you know, I'm suggesting my teaching methods to her while she's teaching
You're
on the
telling
board.
the teacher
Yeah.
during class,
Yes.
maybe you should try it this way.
A teacher with a master's degree.
Potentially, yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Maybe or maybe
at
not.
At least a teaching credential for sure.
Right, definitely. A teaching
Yeah.
credential. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, but ultimately now
you
here
were
we
12
are.
You were 12 years old?
I mean, yeah, probably at that time I was like 16.
Okay,
But yeah.
16. Oh, yeah, 16.
But now here we are, you know, 20 years later, where I'm like, I was learning it differently than was being taught. And so like if I was learning it differently, potentially other little black girls, other little black boys, anybody can learn this differently than what's being taught in classes. And so my teacher in high school actually encouraged me. She was like, she told me one-on-one, she pulled me aside and said, I really appreciate how respectful and how, like, you know, honorable you are when you correct me. So, like, if she's writing something on the board and it's the wrong answer, it's supposed to be -2 and she wrote +2. And I'm like, I'm not sure, but I got -2. Is that right? And so, you know, she would say, you know, that demeanor, that humility, all of that is honorable. So keep that with you.
You corrected her, but you were still humble at the same
exactly.
time.
In
a polite way.
Yeah.
In a polite way. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm still doing that now, even in my doctorate program. Like, you know, the way we're learning and the way my classmates are learning, you know, they're visual learners like me. And we're learning a lot of things from PowerPoint and virtually. And I'm just like, you know, if everybody grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and drew this out, that's how I learned this concept. So maybe that's what we all should do in class. And my professors are like, yeah. but they haven't taken necessarily the time to actually do that. But, you know, on the side, like during class, like I used to do when I was 12, one of my best friends in class, she's learning because I'm teaching her on the side how I learned this concept. Like, draw it out like this. And then an independent variable, dependent variable. We're in quantitative research for a doctorate program. And I'm teaching that to her. And I'm actually going to create a video on YouTube for the rest of my classmates, you know, so because I couldn't talk to them during class, but they're all like, one of my classmates in particular said, I wish I had your brain. And so I'm just like,
I wish I had a part of your brain.
A small part.
Jeff, I wish you had a small part of her brain.
Small part.
I mean,
I wish you had any of her brain.
can lend it out.
Well, hey, I'll
Don't
toast to
lend it
that.
out because it would go to waste, and Jeff, I'm going to tell you.
I wouldn't go to waste. I'll toast to that.
I've got enough.
Toast.
Cheers.
So,
All right. Hey,
so along
cheers.
with all of that on top of it, I hear that you got a day. You were given a day in San Diego.
I was given a day,
Now,
February 24th, 2022.
This is national. This is a local
In the city of San Diego, really presented by Council Member Monica Montgomery Stepp, Council Member of District 4 and Council Member Pro Tem. So
This is a syndicated show. We're on the web, World Wide Web.
yes,
So
yes,
hey, folks in San Diego, you can
yes.
tell them.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
you know,
God.
definitely shout out to Monica Montgomery Stepp, Council President Pro Tem, and you know, I've been doing some events over the past few years where I've been involved with the city government and really trying to get the community connected with the city. And so you know what we don't know is, like, you know, from the politics side, who to contact when we have a certain issue. So if you need a stop sign on your street, who is that? If you're having a flood on your street, who is that? If you're having issues in the school system with your children, who is that? You know, so we want to reach out to the mayor for everything or the governor for everything. But, you know, these are different bounds. And so we don't know that.
And it's more local than
Potentially, yeah. So certain things are school districts, certain things are council members, certain things are, I mean, and then we have different districts in San Diego. So you need to reach out to your district council member, you know, and so you have
Politics in your future? Or?
not necessarily, but
Sounds like it.
it's really to, you know, introduce, I mean, the main thing I'm about is educating. And so that's what I love being as an educator. And so ultimately including some of this stuff within the STEAM University is like, these are the things that you need to know. In my doctorate in education class last week, we talked about the class civics in high school. And so had I known about protesting, had I known about the mayor handles this, your council member handles this, the governor handles this, I could have, you know, just done things differently. And so even when it comes to owning a business, so we have our city taxes, but then you know, if you have an LLC, then that goes through the Secretary of State. And then, you know, you have your business license through the county. And so, it's 3 different boards of government, but which one handles what? And people don't know that. And so I've been doing a Black History Month event for the past about 4 years with the city government in particular. And so
opening people's eyes.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys celebrating Juneteenth there too?
So I think there's a few things going on. I'll actually be in Detroit, so looking forward to the different events here. Last year I was in Houston for Juneteenth, so just really still traveling, but it's really, business. Mm-hmm. Business, education, business experiences. I mean, education ultimately is like, how are different cities doing different things? How are different cities celebrating? And how can we bring that to where I'm currently living? But then ultimately my plan is to live all around the world. So, to have a different home or condo in different countries. And so how are these different countries, the taxes, the rules, the celebrations going on all around the world? And then how can we bring that locally? And even, of course, back home to Detroit.
Whoa. People?
Oh, she said a different condo.
In a different country.
Now, how does that... how does that sit with... Yo.
Hey.
Turn that mic around.
Listen, in case you don't know, my nephew Kamal is in the studio with us.
Come on.
And this
my man.
This is her man.
That's her man.
We're talking to my nephew's woman.
Hold on.
I'm gonna put it like that. My nephew's woman.
Before you answer that,
this is her man, my nephew.
Before you answer that, can I get another shot?
Oh, we're getting drunk in here today, y'all. Everybody, we've been drinking.
Can I get another shot? Port. What is that?
What is that? The sign?
Oh, hell no.
Just around.
No, hell no. I don't want that. You know what I want.
Give him a little Uncle Nearest.
1886.
But I'm going to tell you, this young lady just...
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
She's off the hook.
That's good. Thank you.
I mean, she's 35. She's got a day named after her. Martin Luther King didn't get a day named after him. He was assassinated.
Oh, come on. Oh,
I'm just saying, man.
I know what you're saying.
God, and maybe that was wrong to say, but
good.
I
mean, but Martin Luther King did so much by the time he was in his 30s.
But you're
right.
Right.
He got assassinated in his 30s.
And you are correct.
You know what I'm saying? So
correct.
it's just
so he was as young as you are.
Exactly. Everything he did, all the poems, all the writings, locked up in jail, letter from Birmingham jail, all of the things
the march
he did was before.
No, I'm not taking anything away from him.
No, I know.
But I'm just saying that you're carrying as much weight.
I mean, Jesus too. But,
Jesus too. You can tell she's a very religious person.
Amen.
And she believes she's got her faith.
That's a doctor.
She's carrying as much weight.
She's a doctor.
But you're carrying as much
wants
weight.
To call me a future doctor.
No. Okay.
Not a future doctor. I'm not even going to call you a future doctor. You're a doctor.
I need to get my nephew on the microphone. Come on, get on the microphone.
Come on.
No, come on, because I need to ask you a question.
Step up, come on.
Come on,
man.
Now. Let's go. Okay, this is my nephew Kamal here, and this is his woman we've been talking to the last half hour.
His lady.
Kamal, what?
His
queen. Okay. What do you have to say, Kamal?
Stop it.
Come on. I mean, because
you're a queen.
I mean,
queen to be.
She's funny. She's beautiful. She's intelligent,
and she's stepping up.
Kamal, what?
Queen.
What do you have to say about this, man?
I'm blessed.
Oh, you hear that? You hear that?
That's enough.
And highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored.
That's all you have to say.
We lift it.
Because I should not be with her. Because she.
Don't say that.
Hold on. I need to hear this. I want to hear this.
No, okay.
I want to hear this. As he
We're not a relationship show now. We're just.
I want to hear this. Praise it if you want.
Go ahead.
Because if anyone heard what she said, I ain't that smart. I still don't know why she's with me. Well, I'm happy that she is.
Obviously, you're smart enough. And you're doing something right.
I think you're debatable. A bright individual. I don't care about that. What are you talking about? I'm not that smart. What is he? What?
No, he's a sharp young man.
Yeah, I see. I know he's a sharp young man.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's amazing.
See that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
The doctor knows it.
But hold it up. We're getting smooches in the studio.
Smoochies.
Passing kisses.
Yes.
And she's got a beautiful smile, ladies and gentlemen. She's got little dimples in her cheeks. You know, and my nephew's got his little smile over
He
his.
just fine.
Look at him.
Oh,
look at him.
Stop it. Hey, Dr.
Jazz. Dr. Jazz.
Dr.
Jasmine Sadler.
Dr. Jazz from Detroit, from Southfield.
A native Detroiter who now resides in San Diego, who's is doing so much.
Yes.
So where do you see yourself going? I mean, you've talked about so much right now, Jasmine. What else do you see for yourself? I mean, I don't know what else it could be, but I'm sure you've got other plans and thoughts.
That's the reason I'm on this earth, is to own and run this STEAM university, to educate people differently and potentially to have an exodus of Black kids from the public school system into a place that's a non-traditional education system.
Exodus from Detroit. I'm sorry,
ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine is blowing Jeff's mind.
From the public school system. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking charter. We're not talking Catholic or anything like that. We're from the public schools. Explain it, please. Break that down for me.
Now, Jeff.
Hold on. Come on.
No, come up. Yeah, turn his mic up. Go ahead.
All right. So, Jeff, I went to Groves High School out in
You went to what?
Groves High School.
Groves. Okay, yeah, Birmingham Groves.
Birmingham Groves, right? Mm-hmm. Went to a public education. Loved it, right?
Okay.
However, all the linear curricular activities that we had to do, all the history, the English, the math, did not stick.
Okay.
Now, when I did outside the box thinking, I was able to think critically. That's the type of university she's looking at doing.
Okay.
She wants our young people to look at everything outside the box. Don't look at just the textbooks, because a lot of kids don't learn that way, myself included. Right. I barely graduated high school. I barely graduated college. It's only by the grace of God and my uncle, threatening to beat me. And I love y'all.
I not threatened to beat him. I threatened to murder him.
Same. However, I graduated though. No. But if I had a teacher like Jasmine here, I probably would have excelled better, because that means that the teachers are looking at how I learn, how I intake information, instead of just telling me how I'm going to take information and how I'm going to learn.
And Kamal, that's a big problem with our children nowadays. The education is not geared for us.
Right.
And for someone like Jasmine here, who sees that, I know my daughter didn't. I know Jeff didn't, and you didn't. We didn't have that opportunity to learn the way we can learn. It was do as I say.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a teacher in front of the classroom, and then 20, 30, sometimes 40 students in that classroom, and then that's how we're taught to learn. And we're not taught to talk back to the teacher. We're not taught to, give our feedback. We're not taught to bring our real world experiences, things that my parents may have taught me, things you may have learned in baseball. You're not taught to bring any of that into the classroom.
No, you just hit a nerve with Jeff, because Jeff is a baseball player. He was an Olympic gold medalist and all that. So when you said baseball, he just lit up.
I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm. A teacher.
Mm-hmm. I teach baseball, but I was also a teacher in the public schools. Because I'm on disability now. I got a bad back and neck and everything else. But anyway,
nobody asked about that.
You look good. I know. You look good.
I know.
Oh, you're such a sweet woman. Okay.
No.
I'll tell the truth. Jeff is effed up.
You look good.
I truly appreciate what you just said. It's oh man, it's beautiful what you just said. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely correct.
So listen,
because even for example, I love baseball. I played softball growing up, and even just like the bat material, how you hit it. So the material is like a major. It's material science and engineering. Like if you have a wood bat, a metal bat, different types of bats, but then also like how you hit the ball from the bat is like physics. It's all trajectory. If you hit it with this angle at this velocity, and sometimes you want to bunt the ball.
Jeff just took off his headset. She's about to blow his mind.
Sometimes you want to bunt. And I mean, for me, I was bad at batting. And so, but I could run real fast. So I'm like, if I can swing at my fullest might and still just basically bunt it. I can run. I can always run and I can make it to base. But I have to, like, within some degree of freedom, hit the ball so I can get on base. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, even as a coach, as an educator, which is really what all coaches are, you know, informal educators, that there's a way to kind of teach that, kind of bring those concepts back. Like physics, it's all about trajectories. 90 degree, if you hit it at a 90-degree angle, it might be a foul ball, you know, but it might come right back down. You know, because gravity would bring it right back down on the home plate and maybe roll inbound, you know, and so then it's okay. And then you can run, you know, and so there's different ways you can teach. And especially for me as a dancer, even recently, it was like center of gravity, center of mass. And I went to a jitting class in Detroit. And so he's like, you know, you need to keep your center of balance over your left foot so that you can with your right foot, you know. So there's different things that, I mean, and that's all a physics concept. And when aerospace engineering is all physics, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, those are all physics-based engineering majors. So if you can understand, that's how I learned aerospace engineering. How a plane flies through the air is how I fly through the air when I'm dancing. So how I spin, you know, how I spin with my arms in front of me, how you see ballerinas spin with their arms above them, that's all physics because it's dealing with angular velocity, angular momentum, things like that. And so that's how I learned physics.
Now, have you danced professionally with anyone?
No, not anyone professionally, but I danced all through college. I mean, I was a trained dancer growing up. We had exams, we had, you know, recitals, we had competitions. But then I was mostly recently dancing at my church. And then in San Diego, we danced like salsa. So, you know, just like, but still doing that, it's a way for me to express myself. It's a way to build confidence, you know, even like how me hopping on the mic today, you know, this is just like what I do, stage presence, all of that kind of stuff is what I learned and what I'm confident in.
And I'm going to tell you, everybody who's listening to, first of all, we've gone a little bit over our allotted time.
That's okay.
We generally cut it off at 30, but this has been so much fun. And I want you all to know this is the very, 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 very first time I've met this young lady. My nephew had just come in town for some business, and he brought his lady friend with him. And I've heard so much about her, but this is the very first time I've met her. And
excuse me,
I'm happy and impressed. What, Jeff? I'm in the middle. What?
No. Doctor.
I'm sorry. Doctors. You're right. I'm sorry. I digress. Dr. Sadler. And it's been wonderful to meet. This is the very first time I've met her, and I'm so happy to welcome you to the family. I think my nephew is blessed, you know, upon lucky. And I love him to death. He's a great guy, and he's very dedicated. So I see good things for the two of you in the future. But I mean, hey, it's been a lot of fun, and we've been sitting in here drinking everything in my liquor cabinet because my nephew doesn't know how, or my daughter. Look, she takes a sip. Jamette, what do you have to say? You've been quiet all day.
Yes, Jamette, go ahead. Say something, Jamette.
Don't smile and giggle.
Don't smile and giggle. Right. Say something.
What y'all been texting about already?
Yeah, because
been texting.
They've been texting about a whole lot of stuff. Okay. Kamal and his cousin Jamette.
Hi.
We're going over. Go ahead. It's okay.
Just so we're clear, I was tipsy when I spoke this, so excuse me if I go astray.
I think we're all tipsy.
We're all good. Just a little.
Just that's just the disclaimer. But it's the first time that my cousin, which is Kamal, which is the gentleman of the wonderful, fantastic woman that we've been speaking to through this segment of The Hook, we just were catching up and sharing some cousin, sister, brother. I love him for life. He loved me for life moments, but all positive.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just joking.
Well, okay. So he says that because he calls me porch monkey, him roach carcass. That's more than y'all need to understand.
Okay, I wasn't gonna put that out there.
No, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't care. So it's not their business. That's us. That's us.
You just made it their business.
But I mean, I'm just saying, it's no different than people who go on TV and tell people it's not their business. It's not their business. But I'm taken aback. I am beyond impressed. And when Kamal, should I say, got on and said he didn't understand why you were with him, I explained to him long before you even mentioned that why you are with him is because she was able to see the gift in you, and then she shared the gift of her, and that is the true love that's moving forward. He didn't actually have to see it. Sometimes when you're too close to your own situation, you don't understand it.
Your own blessing.
And it takes someone else from the outside to see it.
Is
He's
it too deep
always
for
been
y'all?
impressed. He's always impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too deep for
He's
y'all?
always impressed me.
Deep.
Deep. I, being an only child, have been very blessed with my first cousins to be my siblings, to be my friends, to be my teachers. He makes me sick, but
And she's the oldest.
yes,
She's the oldest.
I'm the eldest of my generation on both sides of my family, but they all have brought me so much, and bond that I share with them means the world to me, and I'm excited that you are about to join that rank. So welcome to our family.
Welcome.
And that comes. That's
I'm not
a
even
whole
family,
lot.
but welcome.
And you never will be. And you never will be, Jeff.
Hey,
But-
Feel blessed to be in the room, Jack.
But
Cheers.
that says a whole lot about your cousins and your family. That the oldest member of the generation can say that she has received blessings.
The matriarch.
And the matriarch
Yes.
of the generation
Yes.
can say that she received blessings and love and so forth from her younger cousins and so forth. There's a lot about who they are, and I would like to say about who she is and possibly who we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've run over about 10 minutes. And of course,
forgot
every time I sign off, Jeff's got something to say.
No.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Hook, powered by True Detroiter.
In Detroit United,
I'm Jeff Lowe.
and I'm Keith Butler.
That's Keith Butler. And anytime somebody asks, where'd you get that information from, bro? Tell them you caught it on The Hook.
The Hook, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for listening. Okay, Kamal just ruined the whole thing by throwing up the Omega Psi sign. Well, I'm gonna hit him with a yo for the Noops, baby. There's a Q in the house. There's a Noop in the house.
And thank the guests. Thank the guests.
Oh yeah, a stellar guest today.
Yes.
Like I said, first time I met her, and I'm so glad that she's gonna become. Hopefully, she'll become a part of this family. And even if she does, something goes on, she's gonna always be a part of our family. And Jasmine Sadler, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending time with us on, so briefly.
Sadler is for limited time only.
Okay. 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 All right, everybody. This is Keith Butler. I'm signing off from the Hook. My co-host Jeffrey Lowe. We're having a party here. We'll talk to you guys again soon.